And bantering with you has really been the honor of my life. I'll miss you. And I love you with all of my heart. And of course, we'll always stay in contact. I'll be speaking German by tomorrow.
Please, exactly.
James?
No, I mean, we already have a off-air conversation just now, and I think something Veronica mentioned just now, I want to echo again, is that you are living proof of God's love. And I think every time I think of you, immediately I'm reminded of your deep faith, but also the way you make people feel, and the way that you hold people accountable, but in a loving way. You're never there to judge, you're never there to condemn, but you are there to correct, which I really appreciate in this industry of ours, that sometimes I can lose focus of that type of stuff. So before I start crying, I haven't known you nearly as long as Tando, but I've really appreciated you and admired you and really respected you from the moment that I did meet you, and you will be sorely missed here.
Thank you. Sure, we're running out of time.
We are, and we want to hear your last minute.
Yes. I'll try to just go as quickly as I can. Thank you to Primedia, generally one of the best places I've ever worked at. In my interview, I said I was looking for a home, right, 7 years ago, and that's exactly what this place has been for me in so many ways. To our listeners, you've been the real magic. You received me so warmly, whether it was on air, when we bumped into each other in Ubers, at shopping centers, and everywhere in between. Your support really has meant the world. To everyone at EWN, thank you. It takes a team to be able to do this and come on air and say, I'm Lerato Hefele, and I'll eternally be grateful. Working here has been one of the greatest honors of my life, to be at the forefront of history, telling stories that matter. But the best part has been making magic with some of the best people in the game, and some of them I literally grew up listening to. And now I'm snotty, and I'm proud to call them my friends. I've grown so much here, but none of it would have been possible without industry greats who believed in me and guided me. Lebon Tate, Camilla Bath, Ray White, Tara Penny, Mia Lindiki, Ravi Naidu, Dumela Diamunaheng, Mahlatse Bungalwa. Thank you for believing in me and shaping me into the journalist I am today. To my broadcasting friends, Khomotso Modise, Ayanda Nyati, and Bonga, thank you for walking through the fire with me, literally in the newsroom and personally. You make me want to be a better human being. To my friends who never stop listening from everywhere in the world, thank you. I love you. Tuntabi Singh and the kids, thank you. You've always made me feel like my work mattered. To my family, my mom, my in-laws, my incredible husband, Daniel, thank you for embracing this crazy career where news never sleeps. Being married to a journalist is no small thing. But you've given me the most beautiful 9 years in South Africa, and I'm so proud of how you've embraced our culture, my language, and even our crazy politics in South Africa. My other family, 947 Drive with Tando team. Ben, Msizi, Tobani, Tobela, and Adonis, thank you. You guys really made my days unforgettable. And finally, to Tando, the one who loved me fiercely. Working with you was such a joy. But knowing you and loving you was the ultimate gift of my life. Thank you for embracing me from day one. You were my sunshine on the rainy days, always rooting for me, always inspiring me. You truly are a sister to me. And the most difficult part of saying goodbye is having to say goodbye to you. Yes, don't worry, I'll keep sending you my pregnancy tests from the toilet. I love you guys. Thank you.
We love you, Lerato.
We love you.
Farewell, my darling.
The only way home without potholes.
947 Drive with Tundo. Back Monday for another smooth ride.
3 to 6 p.m.
This is 947.
Be in it to win it by playing Powerball and Powerball Plus for a life-changing 124 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 64 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 60 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old or play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns for its 12th edition on the 20th and the 21st of September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Kwesta, and Ingabi Zezwi. And then on Soulful Sundays, experience the legendary Miss Lauren Hill, Wycliffe Jean, YG Marley, Zion Marley, Lira, and so much more. It's South Africa's ultimate showcase of food, music, art, and fashion. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
On 947, this is EWN.
Good evening, I'm Lerato Hefila. National Treasury says the Auditor General has managed to recover 460 million in outstanding debt from the country's municipalities who failed to pay for their services. These settlements come after Treasury wrote to the country's 257 municipalities, warning them that they risk losing their equitable share funding for basic services should they fail to pay. Babalo Ndenze reports.
National Treasury says there is merit in the Auditor General continuing with its current funding model where auditees pay for their services. National Treasury Accountant General Shabir Khan says this ensures the office's financial independence. He says municipalities that owed the AG millions in outstanding debt have paid up after notifying them of their intention to impose Section 2162 of the Constitution and withhold equitable share funds. As of the 31st of July, the total outstanding debt to the Auditor General stood at 1.8 billion rand.
We've seen with this initiative already in the month of December, that message has already seen municipalities paying the Auditor General in the tune of 460 million rand.
On the weather front, a fine start to Saturday in Gauteng with isolated afternoon showers expected. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 13 degrees, peaking at 27. Pretoria 10 and 27 as well. Vereeniging 19 and 26. And for the very last time for Eyewitness News, I'm Lerato Hefila.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Great show as always, Darop.
Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
Great show as always. Thanks.
Great show as always.
Great show as always, Rob. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful show, Robert. Thank you so much. It
always gives me pleasure to speak to someone who's got such an insight.
I love the introduction.
Hey, what is show Marawa?
South Africa, this is your Mbumbo Kalazi of a guy. Oh God, Jesus. Yesterday I was even scared of Mukwena. Yesterday Mukwena was the person I was scared of. I didn't know that there's a guy who was called Mbumbo Kalazi. Mbumbo Kalazi turned look man into look girl yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, as I'm talking to you right now, if you go in South Africa, inside the pocket of Mbumbo Kalazi, you will find look girl inside. 19-year-old pocketed the current best African football player. His name is Mbombo Kalazi. That's how I'm going to address on him.
But let me break it down as far as Alex is concerned. I mean, he's a sports data engineer from Laduma Analytics, the architect behind the algorithms as well as Opta Jabu, the maestro of metrics. Was the difference for me between raw match data and enriched analytics.
It's a bit like if you look at the kitchen, you have potatoes. The raw data is just potatoes. But then the final product after analytics and an analysis process is now your what's a fancy potato dish? It's your mashed potato that is going to cost you 200 rand.
Well, you sounded like Steve Kombelen.
I hope you understand.
Look, Chelsea have won so many titles when they were getting players using these methods which are not open and transparent. If they get a fine, that means football will never be a fair game.
Ben Jacobs, sports journalist, all the way in the United Kingdom.
They were aware from day one that this may be a problem, and as a consequence, what they did is set aside around £100 million from the sale price. So originally, they'd agreed with Roman Abramovich £2.5 billion. It got reduced by £100 million, and that money has been set aside to deal with all of these issues.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Well, I guess she signed up another contract, ladies and gentlemen. A very, very emotional farewell to Lerato Hefila. But all I know is that as she heads off to Germany, we here on #MSW will be recruiting her to be our Bundesliga correspondent. So from one to the other, that's how we do it. Welcome. This is #MSW, Marawa Sports Worldwide. Proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go!
The moment you remember.
The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Yeah, that's how it is, but it is a Friday. Looking forward to chatting to Rodney Berman. He is our legend tonight. Anyone who knows anything about boxing will know Rodney Berman. So, hey, keep it locked here. We'll take any of your calls, your WhatsApp voice notes. Let's celebrate the man, because what a difference he has made to boxing in South Africa through so many years. In fact, I don't even know. It's probably over 4 decades, maybe. Hey, he'll confirm that with me, but very, very excited. But equally exciting is the fact that it is a massive MTN 8 final happening in Mbombela. The countdown is pretty much on. I mean, just 24 hours to go before the curtain rises on the MTN 8. Whether it rises or falls, it depends which side of the winning side you're going to be on. It is the heartbeat of South African football. I mean, it's pulsating louder than ever through Mbombela. It's not just another game. And I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of people the whole week talking about it. It's a clash for glory. You talk about a showdown where heroes will be made, where hearts are going to be broken. And at the center of it all, though, stands a fortress. They've kept it beautiful, this Mbombela Stadium. I mean, it's a theater where history will be written, whether you like it or not. And tonight, though, we're going to be taking you behind the scenes, though, of this epic stage. It is the man with the master plan joining us to give us a breakdown. I mean, he's a guardian of the day-to-day glory. The stadium manager of Mbombela, from security to safety, I mean, to traffic and flow. And right now, as we talk, people are sending us messages and saying, guess what? We are on the highway. We are on the way to Mbombela. So please share that experience with us. Would love to know. Also wanting to know about the park and ride, the precision right down to the sacred pitch itself. And here to give us the inside track, though, on how this football festival is going to be unfolding. Rolf Kotzer, good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening. Yes, excited to be able to talk to you. And I can see you building up the excitement.
What's it looking like on that side? I mean, it's an absolute honor, Rolf, having you on the show. But what can you tell South Africans right now? We've just come out of a FIFA international break, and the biggest showpiece of them all is the Cup final at Mbombela Stadium.
Yes, we're very excited to be able to host this. And we said yesterday at the press conference that, when you're involved in a stadium like this, there's certain highlights and iconic matches, and we really think that this is going to be one of them. So let me start off by the most important thing on the match, and that's the pitch. I think the pitch is in a great condition. I think tomorrow when spectators arrive, they'll see it. It's in top class. The teams are actually, as we speak, busy with the captain's run and training. So the pitch is great. But the logistics, basically starts on the outside, and that's the traffic.
Before you get to the traffic, Rolf, I was going to give you a compliment, because when you come out of a winter season and you see a couple of games being staged in Mbombela and you look at the pitch and you see it in that pristine condition, I've got to thank you. I've got to thank, all the guys that take care of the pitch itself. I don't know how you've managed to do it. What's the secret?
I think it's experience. We had our lessons. There were times when it was really tough. The AFCON 2013, we had a huge challenge at the time. But again, it was a learning curve. And basically what we have is we've got a winter season and a summer season. And in winter, we use the ryegrass, which is a very beautiful grass. But with our humidity, that grass just doesn't last in summer. So in summer, we have cynodon, which is then the dominant grass that you see. It's not as green and beautiful as the ryegrass. The ryegrass is basically the World Cup grass. It's a winter European type grass, but in summer the cynodon takes over, and then we have a pitch that's playable for 12 months of the year. So it took a lot of learning, and we've got a very competent team, as you mentioned. So we're proud of what they've achieved. And, a pitch is a living, it's farming, if I could put it that way. It's agriculture. So you're dealing with nature, and you don't have all the controls. You've got the pesticides, and you've got all diseases and all these sort of things that you've got to manage your water. But we're very fortunate. I think we've got a good team. The pitch is performing very well, and I think that the teams are going to enjoy playing there tomorrow.
All right, let me take you off the pitch. Let's go back to where you were going as far as the outside part is concerned, because everybody talks about safety, everybody talks about security, the traffic, the access. Give us a breakdown. How are you handling it?
Yes. The match doesn't start when you're in the stadium. The match actually, or your day as a spectator, starts when you decide to come to the stadium. And we always want to stress it. It's much better to sit in the stadium with a cold beer watching the warm-up than sitting in the traffic on the side of the road. And that is to a large extent in your own hands. And that starts when you plan your day. Don't think it's not just a normal football game. This is a real big occasion. So add another 2 hours to your normal planning, even 3 hours. And come to the stadium. We're opening the gates to the stadium at 2 o'clock, which basically 4 hours before the game. There's pre-match entertainment in the stadium. Java is the main act just before the game, and there's some other entertainment and DJs and whatever. So the point is we're trying to make it attractive for spectators to really take the day and get full value out of the day. So rather get in your vehicle at 1 o'clock and be at the stadium at 2 o'clock and park close to the stadium. We've got what we call early bird parking, and there's limited parking at the stadium. We don't have enough space for everybody, all 43,000 people, to come with their own vehicles. So there's limited parking at the space, but that is, as we call it, early bird parking. For those people that decide they want with their own vehicle and they do come early, they'll find space there. But then we also have the park and ride, as you referred to, that it's also very convenient. We have buses and taxis with various pickup points. I don't know if you want me to mention them, but I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have with Bergvlam Hoërskool, and then we've got Lowveld High for buses, and then the old showgrounds in town. And then for those spectators that come with taxis from the townships to the CBD, there's a pickup point at the bus terminal. So there's 4 pickup points where there's 150-seater buses that can transport people to the stadium. So we're protecting those routes very well so that the bus can have a free flow in and out of the stadium. So it's going to be very convenient. And then we also have taxis which have a quick turnaround at Riverside Mall at Government Complex. There we have taxis operating. And then we've added a new pickup point, which is the new fresh produce market, which is on the Leidenburg Road, the Mashashing Road, where there's a safe parking. It's paved parking, and there's lights, and it's fenced in. Very convenient for those of our fans that are coming from Mashashing or Sabi, or even from Gauteng. If you're late and you see, the parking at the stadium is full, rather go to that park and ride. It's on the N4 bypass. There's signage up that will take you to that pickup point, and then get on a taxi and in and out of the stadium. But the bottom line, all of these things, and the enjoyment that you're going to get depends on how early you come. So better people get into the cars and vehicles and taxis and come early and enjoy the entertainment in the stadium.
Let's have a quick penalty shootout, you and I, because the game itself, Rolf, is going to go into a penalty shootout. So all I need from you is one word. One word answers now as we head to the break. What's going to be the capacity on the day?
Our safe capacity is 40,000. That's what we're working on.
And you expected crowd size?
40,000. Our full capacity is 43,000. Our safe capacity is 40, so we're working on 40,000.
Kickoff time, just to remind everybody?
Kickoff time is 18 hours, 6 o'clock.
Weather?
Weather, pleasant, Nelspruit, Mbombela weather, best you can think of.
Besides yourself, any other special triple VIP who's going to be there?
Aren't you going to be there?
You see, the word is VVIP, so I wouldn't be there. I'll be somewhere in the extra strong.
I don't know. They like to keep these things to themselves. I'm not too sure exactly, but I'm quite sure there's going to be very important people. If I look at the demand and calls that we had for tickets, I'm quite sure. This is something to enjoy, and the stadium is been beautifully dressed by the sponsors, so it's quite a sight.
Rolf, as always, I wish you, your team, everything of the best. It's a massive day. I have so many people that are coming up that I know and who have been calling into the station and on social media, coming up and driving up all the way from KZN in Durban and other regions as well. So everything of the best. It's a historical occasion and you're at the center of it. Best of luck. Hopefully we chat again soon.
Thank you so much. Keep well.
I appreciate it, man. That is Mpumalanga, all the way in Mpumalanga and Mbombela. Rolf Kotze, who is a stadium manager at the Mbombela Stadium. Well, a person who's also used to big crowds and also used to big occasions all his life, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, we doff our hats off to the one and only Rodney Berman.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
At Trinity House, authentic Christian values empower our students to succeed together. With passionate teachers and expert coaches, we support your child in reaching their full potential in the classroom and in life. Join us for our open day on Saturday, 13 September from 9 to 12 at our campuses in Centurion, Glen Vista, Rand Park Ridge and Little Falls. RSVP now at trinityhouse.co.za. Trinity House, succeeding together.
You're not ordinary, right? So why not bet with the extraordinary? Bet on Lotto Star. Lotto Star offers world-renowned lotteries, quick games, real rush slot games, scratch card games, and live games. You could win payouts of up to 75 million rand instantly. Bet now on lottostar.co.za. Your world of live games awaits. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Witness the next evolution with the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 on Cell C's 36-month Elevate 2 Plus contract for 1,699 Rand per month and get upgraded to 512 gigs memory for free. Plus, stand a chance to win your share of 10 million Rand in prizes when you sign up or upgrade with Cell C's Win Big Amplified. Go in store or call 084145. Valid until 15 September. T's and C's apply. Switch to C. Cell C.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care? Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Brushing your teeth, that's just the start. Listerine gives you 5 times more cleaning power when added to brushing, helping reduce up to 99% of germs that brushing leaves behind. Clinically proven and powered by essential oils, Listerine reaches deep between teeth, along the gum line, and all the places your toothbrush can't. For a whole mouth clean that lasts, Listerine. Wash your mouth.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
We're joined by one of Africa's sharpest football minds, journalist, broadcaster, Osasu Obayuwana. Why haven't you interviewed Patrice Motsepe?
Why haven't you too?
No, you don't know if I have. I'm asking
No,
you.
you haven't. I know you haven't. So why haven't you?
I asked you. You're the guest here.
Yes, but I'm a journalist like you, so we're having a conversation. It's not a monologue. We're having a dialogue here.
Yeah, but the time is up, so I'm asking, why haven't you interviewed him?
Well, not for want of trying. I've been trying for 4 years. So maybe you can give me some insight on it. Why is he so averse to sitting? Look, I don't know why Motsepe won't talk to anyone. I mean, he hasn't really had any decent interview in 4 years. And every time you ask him or you ask his team, you just get answers which are just not acceptable.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Friday nights, always.
This is how we do it.
About our beloved legends. Pull up your chair. Let's chat legendary stuff. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Hi all, my tribute to Rodney Berman, the promoter that I still work with after 40 years. Golden Gloves is going almost 50 years. Unbelievable stuff. Probably the greatest promoter, not probably, is the greatest promoter ever from South Africa, ever from Africa. And Rodney, I just want to say, wow, it's been an absolute honor and a blessing working with you for 50 years. You did my first professional fight back in 1981. And you've done more than 3,000 world title fights. You've brought South Africa the best boxing they could ever have. So well done, Rodney Berman, the greatest promoter that this country has ever seen. And my friend and my boss, and I'm still with him.
Friend, my boss, and we are still together since 1981. That's a great legendary world champion, Brian Mitchell. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate you. Appreciate the beautiful message. I'll get Rodney to respond in just a second. It's not every day, guys, that we get to spend time with one of the greatest ever this world has ever seen. And Brian is not lying. When he talks about the greatest ever, he isn't. That's all we're demanding is respect, guys. Respect right there. Oh, and that's why I say tonight we're going to be stepping into the ring of history. I mean, with the man who has shaped South African boxing for nearly half a century, since 1977. I mean, his name has been etched in the golden era of the sport. I mean, he is a mastermind behind a couple of unforgettable nights. You talk about iconic bouts, the rise of champions. I mean, he's not just a promoter. He himself is a storyteller of blood, sweat, and glory. I mean, the driving force behind Golden Gloves Promotions, a figure who never built walls between himself and fighters that he stood for. And from the highs of world title triumphs to the challenges that tested his grit, I'm sure there were very, very difficult moments. How did he handle them? I mean, his journey mirrors the very spirit of boxing itself. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, it's a historical moment. It's a big one for us. Rodney Berman in the building, yes. Yeah. Rodney, good to see you. Welcome.
Yeah, great, Robert. Thank you. It's a privilege to be on your show. So thank you.
It's a privilege to have a Rodney Berman, the Rodney Berman, in studio. You know how hard I've been trying to get you to come. You're busy, I understand.
No, it's a privilege to be on your show. And I want to put it right. I was overseas for those 2-3 weeks. So.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
You're a man in demand. You're like almost like a Gary Player. You never know he's here, he's there. The next thing is hanging out with big people at the White House, and us little people, in our Facebook side. But how are you feeling? Here we are, 12th of September, 2025. This sport of boxing does what to you still?
The sport of boxing?
Yeah, I mean, what does it do to you?
Well, it's been my life. If anybody would have ever said I was going to be a boxing promoter, they would have put them in a lunatic asylum. But without going into the whys and wherefores, how I got there, and you asked me what it's done for me, I've had the most incredible life. I'm forever grateful, thankful. Probably, I know everybody dines out on it, but not me. Probably the greatest privilege I've ever had in boxing was having a very personal relationship with Madiba, who taught me a lot of things about life, and meeting people overseas. I would never had the opportunity. So it's been a very privileged life. I've loved all the boxers, most of them anyway, that I worked with. My privilege is that I'm still very friendly with a lot of them. And as I say, it's a privilege. I don't see myself, my yardstick is Don King and Bob Arum. I regard myself, thank God they're around, because I regard myself as a juvenile. Don is 94, and Bob Arum is just 93 or 94. So I'm still way behind them, and I'm carrying on. I'm just going to interject with Don King, who I personally regard as the greatest promoter the world's probably ever had. He was a superstar, but just a funny incident with him.
Yeah.
I don't want to go off the track.
No, please.
Many years
your
ago,
show today. Yeah.
I had him here. We were doing a show together, and I had him here as a guest, and I was paying him an appearance fee on top of it. We were friends. Every time we would go out, He'd order the most expensive cigars, the most expensive cognac and whiskey, and I'd paid him quite a lot of money, so I still owed him $5,000. So I thought, to hell with him, I'm not paying the rest of the $5,000. Off he went home. I had the privilege of catching up with him about 4 or 5 years ago at a convention. I said, Don, how are you? He looked up at me. This is a man, he must have been 90 already. He looked up at me. His first words to me is, Berman, you still owe me $5,000.
No way. So he remembered.
Yeah, but he's one of the privileges because I learned a lot from him.
I mean, obviously one of the most visible characters, you know, Don King, the eccentric hairstyle that stood up all the time, but a massive figurehead for a lot of people worldwide. You mentioned a couple of names, Madiba being one of them. What would you say your life lessons have been and were around Madiba?
The biggest was humility.
Yeah.
And interestingly, a very good sense of humor, but definitely humility. You know, I had many, many occasions to be with him. And one of the things that sticks out, we were there on a Sunday afternoon, and I don't know if he was present or he just stepped down, but we were just sitting in his lounge having tea, coffee, and he got up and he was serving everybody biscuits and cake and napkins, you know. Just his humility was unbelievable. And, you know, I'll tell you, Layla Ali was fighting one night, yeah. So they asked me at Emperor's, they said, could I please go meet Madiba and bring him into the stadium? So I went to the back door, and I don't know, word had come out that he was coming. So about 200-300 people standing around, and the car came up, and the driver opened up, and he looked at me. He says, Rodney Berman. He says, you might not remember me, Nelson Mandela. No. So, yeah, he was...
He always threw it back to the next person because he didn't want the greatness. He wanted the greatness to be you.
Yeah,
And that's the nice thing. Whoever you were in the country and the world, he was not the great person, according to him.
Yeah.
You, the next person, were the greatest.
He made everybody feel special.
Did it make it easier for you in terms of that relationship? Because he was, he's a former fighter himself. He's a pugilist lover. He loved boxing inside out. Some of the greatest fighters, when they came back with belts, whatever they had won overseas, they would start off at the Union buildings. He would say, welcome back, congratulations, and really honor them, which I really think now is missing. You know, presidents should still continue with that tradition.
You know, you either or you aren't a special person. And I'll just allude to another incident. Vianney Bungu, who's one of the most special boxers that I've ever had, and I love him. He's one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. Be that as it may, he was fighting for a world title against Kennedy McKinney. McKinney was the Olympic gold medalist. He was an unbeaten world champion. So Vianney had one wish. He said, please, he'd love to meet Madiba before the fight. And on the Thursday, Madiba very graciously set aside his whole schedule, and I went with them, Zianguni and Vianney, and we went to Pretoria and met with Madiba. And his talk to Vianney was one, in my mind, I'm convinced, one of the motivating factors that helped him rise unbelievably, because that, in my mind, was the greatest win ever by a South African in the South African ring. You know, we've had winners fighting fighters that have passed it, but this Kennedy McKinney was at the height of his career.
Yeah, I suppose it was a private conversation, so we would never know the words that were exchanged between the two.
Yeah, no, I was there, but it was a private conversation.
And obviously when individuals, and you talk about Vianney Bungu, I then remember Ring Magazine, which is your Bible of boxing globally. They had named the fight in 91, 92 as the biggest upset in world boxing.
Vianney's, yes.
Yeah, Vianney Bungu's at the time.
That year it was.
Correct.
See, you're a fan, you know the game.
No, I've always been, my late dad loved boxing. So we would wake up in the middle of the night because of the time difference and where the major fights would be.
I want to tell you particularly with Vianney, as I say, he's very special in my life. Welcome Nita, the two of them, because them with Mzee and Gurney, who incidentally every single year without fail, I write to the Boxing Hall of Fame because nobody understands the greatness of Mzee and Gurney, what he did in boxing. And I implore them every year to have him inducted posthumously, but it just goes on deaf ears. So it's very sad. But the story I just wanted to tell you.
But why though? Sorry, Rodney. I can imagine because I've seen that before. I've seen your fight to try and get the late Mzee Nguni to be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
It's a quest with me. I love that man.
And it's based in New York. I mean, he died... at the age of 77, loved by so many people. He produced the fighters, you promoted them. Your work was magic together.
Robert, you've got no idea how brilliant this guy was producing fighters under the sparsity of conditions with the sparsity of equipment.
Yeah.
We were going to having fights overseas, fighters that were in state-of-the-art gymnasiums, and like Z, alluding back to his fight with McKinney, it was his tactics. Anyhow, just going back to what makes it also so special, that Vianney was fighting in a very important fight in America. So he on HBO, they call you in before, and they prime you, so they know all about you. Anyhow, he told them a story, which is not myth, it's a actual story. He said when he was at school, he would go in the township to school without shoes, but that wasn't a problem because nobody could afford shoes. He said, but he used to go to school and he'd have a paper bag in his hand in which he sandwiches. At break, he'd go sit with his back to the other school kids and he'd take out his sandwich and he'd start chewing it. But in that bag were stones. He was too embarrassed to tell the other kids at school. Now, one of the greatest privileges in boxing, sometimes they blow the money, but when you're involved with somebody like that has had nothing and come from those beginnings, and they achieve that notoriety. But
wow, I think the minute you talk about that, I had a picture in my mind of what that would look like, where you're almost trying to blend with the other kids, but you don't have.
And you're simulating that you're chewing. It was a very famous story, and while he was fighting, they actually repeated that story on television.
Live HBO. My goodness. All right, lots of your tributes are coming through. Like I said, we get these once-in-a-lifetime opportunities to hang around with greatness, invite people of the stature and the caliber of a Rodney Berman. That's what we're doing tonight. He's here. He's live.
Hi, Rob. This is Andrew from Rodipot. Rob, it is so refreshing that today's Legends show, we are talking about boxing. And what a better way to kickstart today's show with a powerhouse. Rob, talking about powerhouse, I want to start this way. If you go to USA and you ask who is the best ever boxing promoter to ever been produced in that country, they will tell you it's Don King. If you come to Africa, Rob, not in South Africa, I'm saying in Africa, and you ask who is the best ever boxing promoter in this continent, there's one name, Rob. It's Rodney Berman, the one CEO of Golden Gloves Promotions. We have seen glamorous boxing matches under this great son of the soil. And he has produced so many boxers, Rob. And talking about boxers, I want to know from him, which is the best ever boxer that he was privileged to ever promote, and also which best fight that he has ever witnessed in his career, Rob. Andrew from Rodipot.
Andrew, thank you so much. A big boxing fan, clearly.
Thank you very much for those words. It's very much appreciated. The greatest fight I've ever witnessed was Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. The first fight before I was I was still involved in boxing, so that was special. Some of the greatest fighters internationally, unfortunately it was a time when I couldn't mention all of them. Riddick Bowe happened to be part of us. I had Shane Mosley, who probably was one of the best fighters ever. One of the greatest promotions I ever had. Shane Mosley fought Oscar De La Hoya, and we had Shane Mosley that night. He beat De La Hoya. The best fight that stands out most in my memory. It sounds stupid because it's not an ego thing, but we've done big fight. When Welcome Nita fought for the world title in Israel.
Oh, Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv. Because what had happened, we'd been promoters for about 12 years.
Yeah.
We couldn't produce a world champion. We had this youngster, Welcome Nita, who, when I look at his fight still today, he's a mini Sugar Ray Leonard. He was brilliant. Anyhow, we'd sent him to the Kronk Gymnasium, the famous Kronk Gymnasium. He'd been primed and brought up. We went to Israel, to Tel Aviv, and Z had to rush back because they burnt down his shop in Siska. Was it the Siska? So Welcome was there. He was a youngster.
Yeah.
And funny enough, that night, sorry if I keep digressing,
but
that night, it was a Jewish holiday. So religiously, the hotel couldn't serve hot food. I can't even remember what it was. We took Welcome to a restaurant, Italian restaurant, for supper. It was the first time that I'd really had, and I call it a real privilege, to sit down with one of these young kids from the Eastern Cape and talk to him. And he poured out his heart to me. He said his greatest fear was that what happens if he lost that fight? He would be condemned to a life of poverty in the township. We would drop him, which is all nonsense. But and anyhow, and so it was a great insight for me going forward. But he went and won that fight, and that stands out as the greatest night's boxing for me. The night that Welcome won that title.
Any memories, guys, that you do have, especially that 1990 fight that Rodney Berman talks about in Tel Aviv in Israel? I think Bernice was the defending champion at the time. And you can well imagine being away from home, being in Israel, where, and being a youngster, sort of naive in terms of traveling. I don't know if he had traveled internationally before or not. Probably would have been, possibly could have been his first international flight.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time.
#MSW.
It's not magic. It's our master grillers. Enjoy a pork chop grilled to perfection, juicy force, and delicious buffalo wings or chicken strips, all served with Spur-style crispy onion rings and golden chips for only $159.90. Get the Master Griller combo, only at Spur. People with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
Hip hip hooray! It's Hirsch's massive birthday sale from the 26th of August to the 23rd of September. We have incredible deals on your favorite TVs, appliances, beds and more. Save a whopping 1,700 Rand when you purchase a D5 Gemini double oven for 15,999 and get free delivery. These and other amazing birthday deals available in-store online at Hirsch's.co.za. Hirsch's, we will save you money.
One festival, endless flavor, and 2 unforgettable days of timeless music. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, returns on 20 and 21 September at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. On Saturday, the stage erupts with Don Toliver, Questa, and Nkabi Zezwe. Then on Sunday, experience the legendary Lauryn Hill, Wyclef Jean, Lyra, and more. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotto Star. Tickets at Ticketmaster.
In the streets of Mzansi, 2 unstoppable hustlers take center stage. The Suzuki Eco, the Cargo King. The Suzuki Super Carry, the efficient workhorse. These vehicles are your business in motion. And now, when you buy one, you'll get it branded on us. That's Economics 101. Get an Eco or Super Carry today to turn your ride into the ultimate moving billboard. Visit suzukiauto.co.za to book a test drive and to drive your hustle forward in style. T's and C's apply.
When you're smiling,
Wear your favorite socks to school or work on the 19th of September, and your 20 Rand donation will help spread smiles to all children around South Africa.
The sun comes shining through.
Buy your Socks for Smile sticker today and make a world of difference. Smile Foundation.
It's Leroy Merlin's 7th birthday and we're celebrating with you. Now's the perfect time to completely update your home. Enjoy 10% off Luxon's paint tinting, 15% off selected countertops, 20% off Arden's mosaics, and up to 50% off your favorite products. This isn't just a sale, it's a celebration. Download the Leroy Merlin app, visit a store or shop online from 5 to 28 September. Leroy Merlin, make your home the best place to live. T's and C's apply.
The thrill, the drama, the action.
Let the game begin.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
All right, shifting to Ben Jacobs, United Kingdom, all the way in the UK, sports journalist and commentator regarding what has been, grabbing the headlines. What is the sanction? Is this going to have any effect on the success of Chelsea?
So Chelsea have got until the 19th of September to answer. My understanding is that answer, even if more information is provided, will not be any denial because, again, Chelsea flagged these issues in the first place. Then the process will run its course and you have various options. The first is a speedy resolution in the form of a fine or a settlement. If the FA and Chelsea are not on the same page, you could get a scenario where this case drags on and takes a little bit longer and results in Chelsea having to make a defence. But my understanding at this stage is that Chelsea are expecting a fine. They are, of course, highly respectful of the process and they're certainly not jumping ahead of that.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Friday nights, always.
This is how we do it.
About our beloved legends. Pull up your chair. Let's chat legendary stuff. Marawa Sports Worldwide.
All right, Rodney Berman, my guest here. A lot of you wanting to give us a call on 011-883-8947, 060-708-0484. That's the WhatsApp voice note number.
A tribute to Rodney Berman. Fagel, as he's known to his friends. The word Fagel means little bird. But Rodney Berman is not a little bird. He is an eagle, somebody who has soared to the highest level of the atmosphere. What he has done for boxing in this country cannot be repeated. I don't think there is one sports administrator who has put so much effort, so much love, so much care into a sport as Rodney Berman has done for boxing. I've been fortunate to have been his partner, being involved with him certainly for the last 40 years. And I can tell you that the passion that he shares for boxing with his boxers, with his trainers, with the public is unsurmountable. It is unmatched by anybody in this country. The accolades that he should have received, I don't know why he's never received them. But as far as I'm concerned, he is Mr. Boxing in this country. You can talk about famous referees like Stan Christodoulou, famous boxers like Vicky Tauwheel, Morris Tauwheel, Willie Tauwheel. You can talk about the Tauwheel family. You can talk about Welcome Nkita. You can talk about Vianney Bungu, Dingon Tubela. But nobody has put in the effort into boxing as Rodney Berman has. And for you to host him is an honor for everybody who listens to it. Rod, what can I say about you? You've been my partner. You've been my friend. You're still at 6-1. You're still there. We know that there are others before, but no one can ever match what you have done for the sport of boxing in this country. I wish you all the best, and I know that you'll continue.
Yeah, you know why he's saying that? We share the secretary. Say once more time. I just want to tell you a very funny story. I've got to have the opportunity.
Please go
because
ahead.
he mentioned Sugar Boy Malinga,
Yes.
who was one of the greatest fighters that ever graced. As an aside, the greatest fight I ever saw in South Africa, naturally talented, was Dingon Tubela, a young Dingon Tubela. He was his own worst enemy, but the most talented. Anyhow, we had arranged the fight. Sugar Boy was fighting Nigel Benn in England. Anyhow, it was a fight he didn't figure to win. So I actually arranged a very nice purse for him, but he phoned me up, and he's a lay preacher. I don't know if you know, he's like a pastor.
Yeah.
So he phoned me up. He said he wants to come and see me. Can he come and see me? So I said, sure. It was a day or two before he was leaving. So he walked in and he said, do I mind if he prays? I said, no, pleasure. So he prayed, and he crossed his heart. He said, listen, he's got to come and see me. God came to see him last night. And God said, listen, sugar boy, go see Berman. I don't think he's paying you the right purse. So I said to him, sugar boy, anyhow, he didn't figure to win. So I said, sugar, listen, I'll tell you what I'll do with you. Incidentally, he also had one of the greatest wins ever in a South African. Yeah. I said, if you win, are you happy if I'll give you an extra 50,000 rand? And promise, this is a long time ago.
Yeah,
just big money.
Lots of
so
money.
he said, do I mind if he prays again? I said, no. So he prays again. He says, God says that's fine. God was happy with that. Anyhow, so we shake hands and off he's going. As he gets to the door, he said, oh, listen, God also told him that he's going to knock out Nigel Benn in the 6th round.
Yeah.
So I arrive in London. Sugar boy to knock out Nigel Benn in the 6th round is something like 66-1. So I take virtually all the money I've got and I put it on.
Yeah.
As the 6th round starts, Nigel Benn drops him. Oh. So I thought, oh my God, it was the wrong. Anyhow, he got up, but he won the fight. One of the most unbelievable fights. Sugar boy was an all-time great.
Oh, I wonder what I wonder what God was saying when he was flawed. By the way, beautiful story that was Raymond Hack. So thank you, Raymond. I know you're listening to the show. When and if the boxing thing didn't happen, I know you're a qualified attorney. You're somebody that hopefully would have represented me when I get into trouble. But any regrets, though, in terms of the time and the shift and the focus more on your love for boxing as opposed to, let's say, the legal fraternity?
No, as I say, it was the most privileged time of my life. Well, it's of my life. I'm still living it. And just going back, so sometimes I'd watch Madiba say at the United Nations. Yeah. I'd pinch myself. This is the guy that I had coffee with or lunch with that said, sorry, there's so many stories that come back. I had Roberto Duran here. Oof. And I can't remember who it was. It might have been even Sugar Ray Leonard. No, it was Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran. Yeah. So Madiba heard about it. He said he'd like to meet with them. So off we went to Cape Town, me the cockroach, Duran and Hagler, and we went to sit with Mandela. Anyhow, I sat there, as I say, the cockroach, I was just watching. And Mandela was giving them advice what they did wrong in their career. It was the most wonderful afternoon, yeah.
But was he wrong, though? Because, he knew boxing more than
most.
Yeah,
he did know boxing, yeah. He'd phone me occasionally and say, listen, Rodney, can you please get me a video of such and such a fight? We'd make it and we'd go deliver it to him.
On VHS, yeah, of course.
So it was also one afternoon, we had these two all-time greats. Marvin Hagler, I had the privilege, I was very close to him. And it was a tragedy when he died, but also at the ring, the most unbelievable character.
But we were talking during the break, and it was actually such an intense conversation. I wish the microphones were on. But I was saying to you, because I am confused, as somebody that loves boxing, I can't say loved because one still loves it. I was saying that anybody who reminisces about boxing does not go back, let's say, an immediate 10 years ago. They go back years ago.
Yeah.
So they would reference names even beyond your Hawk Makepulas, your Tsipas Kosanes, let me say even Terama Tebula. There were fighters that we would leave everything to go and watch. They were sponsors, and forgive me, Bull Brand, Old Buck, etc.
Yeah, they were brilliant.
Who were there for South African boxing. We were able to watch after football, and that was the irony, because football, as popular as it is, there was even a greater audience that watched blow by blow.
But the beautiful thing about those sponsors, they were predominantly supporting the black community, like Eastern Cape, Soweto, etc., and giving these fighters on. As I alluded to you, the tragedy today of boxing, it's hit and miss. There's probably hundreds of brilliant fighters out there. It's just by quirk of fate, if me as a promoter or somebody else like I've got a guy in the Eastern Cape, his name's Sinelli Sequai. He's one of the most, when I talk about Dingo Ntebela, he's one of the most brilliant fighters I've ever seen. He's had 3 or 4, 5 fights. But I've already earmarked him as he's just something very special. Now, he's on SuperSport, but the national broadcaster never promotes these youngsters going up, which should be their building ground. So it's very difficult.
Throw me a name. Allow us to maybe just to wallow on who we should watch out for. Who at Golden Gloves as a fighter or fighters that have upcoming fights, Rodney, that we should look out for because they are potentially great? Well,
Being objective, as it happens, they are with Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
If there were others I'd mention, I have, again, I'm very privileged to have in our stable 2 young fighters, Malajika brothers, Ricardo and Charlton. Ricardo is apparently the most decorated amateur fighter ever in South Africa. He fights for us on the 29th of November in a major fight, which he's already a world champion in one of the organisations. He's recognised by the authoritative BoxRec, which is totally independent, as the second best fighter on the planet in his division. And the champion is a guy, Bam Bam Rodrigues, who's regarded as unbeatable. Yeah. He's like a Mike Tyson. So I have that. He has a young brother, Charlton Malajika.
Yeah.
Exciting for us. There's a young kid, he's 18 years old. His name is Ethan Peters. He just got his professional license, heavyweight. So for the first time, we've got 3 excellent heavyweights in our stable. Boxing is very strong. You know the problem, people talk about the golden years of God. In 10 years' time, they're going to talk about the Malajikas, the golden years.
Well, I hope so, Rodney. Just a quick question. How old are you now?
Who's this, Malajika?
You.
No, he's 25. His brother's...
How old is Rodney Berman?
Rodney Berman's 82. I'm turning 83, but I'm still going.
All I am admiring, and this is for people that think that he's probably got a piece of paper in front of him, all of these names he's churning out, all of the recollections are firmly placed in that fertile mind of his, and that is why we're honoring him today.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the legend, Rodney Berman. Rodney, I just want to thank you for your contribution in elevating the profile of boxing in our country, but also becoming a formidable figure in the sport, but most importantly, for enabling young stars or superstars to realize their potential. And many families had breadwinners because of the work that you've done by enabling their kids to realize their dreams. But I just want to find out from you, if you were to describe the state of boxing in South Africa in medical terms, what will you say? Thank you so much.
Sure, what a way of putting it.
That's a very nice question, because medical is the most important aspect of boxing. At the end of the day, a young man walks into the ring, his life is at stake. And I'm pleased you allude to it, because at least I have the opportunity of also, congratulating the current South African Boxing South Africa Commission. We are headed by 2 very, very competent people. Ayanda Kumalo is the chairperson. She's a young lady. She's willing to learn. She's very far-reaching. They're busy redoing the constitution. And, of course, Cholo Lajaka, also a great name on the boxing scene. So they are also very, very involved in this medical aspect of boxing. And I just want to allude to one thing. As far as I can only talk for Golden Gloves, because I've seen too many hardships in my life. Every fighter that now joins Golden Gloves, they agree or we don't take them. We take out a life insurance policy for them. We take out funeral policy for them. They are obliged to go into an investment scheme where we deduct 10% of their purse, and it's then handled by Old Mutual. And as I talk to you, we're now taking out medical aid for our fighters. It's something they can't afford. So when you talk about that, we are very aware of the medical aspect of it. I've very often been accused of dropping fighters because they lost. The truth is I'd rather have that stigma knowing that I'd rather save them from a serious injury in the ring.
Sure, that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Rodney Berman, it's crazy that the time is, I think it's wrong, this time. This clock is wrong.
I wanted to tell you a lovely story about Skasana, but we don't have time.
We got part 2 lined up. Don't worry. We'll have you back. We'll have you back. I just wanted you to help me wish this young man called Tato Moloto a farewell. He's leaving the MSW team.
I was at the party.
So please, it's a day of goodbyes today. Earlier on with Lerato Herfela leaving, now Tato's leaving.
You're going to better pastures or different pastures? Because I want to tell
Please,
you
the
the one thing
microphone is
about
there.
I
Answer.
want to tell you the one thing about life, which learned.
Yes.
Very important. Are we off?
No, we aren't. Very quickly. We're over time, but we have.
Things.
Yes.
The most important thing in life, you can't appreciate it until you get older. The most important thing which you can't keep hold of is time. And time slips through your fingers. So whatever you can do it. And the second thing is regrets. Never have regrets and always love what you're doing, because then you'll never work a day in your life.
Thank you so much.
So good luck, whatever you're doing, whatever your career path is.
I really appreciate that. Coming from a legend like you.
Well, it's not a legend, it's an old man who's lived life. One day you'll tell somebody the same thing. It's truthfully, time is very, very important, and it goes very quickly.
Wow.
And because it goes quickly, risk more. One of the things I've always done in my life, now I'm one of them, so it's very difficult to say I confront old people. And I always say to them, I'm talking people in their late 90s, if you had time again, what would you change? And every one of them, without fail, every single one said, we would have taken more risks in our life. Because when you get to it, that's what it's about.
Beautiful.
So good luck. Huh?
Tato, thank you so much.
You do.
Thank you for the many times you've spent with us. Thank you for showering MSW with your presence. The beautiful, difficult word of effervescent personality, but also very hardworking. You're one of the people that when Ravi was here, as the station manager said, he has a kid who's going to go places. I see you going places. So go take those places. And as the great Rodney Berman has said, the world is your oyster, sir.
Thank you so much, Starob. I know we were out of time, but I just want to thank you. I think you changed my life in ways that even you cannot imagine. My life, I walk out of here knowing that it's not the end, but only just the beginning, not just in life, but even with MSW. So I want to thank you so, so much for, everything.
Wow.
There's too much to mention, but you really, really did change my life for the better. And I don't think I'll walk out of here being the same person ever again.
I'm just going to add one thing to him before I leave here, because he keeps talking about legend. He's probably half my age, and he's a legend at his age.
Yes.
And really you are, Robert.
Thank you.
You're very special in your field.
Thank you so much, Rodney. My goodness. Before I have to go to Tato for an employment tomorrow, we're over time.
The thrill, the drama, the action.
Play the game again.
Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time.